The horizon.
Welcome to Be in the Business. I am Jamie Thurston-Margaret, and this is the show where we spill the tea on the behind the scenes of entrepreneurs and the life of entrepreneurs. People think it's easy. The gram makes it look like we're living the best life, but Mareldia Jones over here can tell you that it's not always the case. Starting a business, running a business is quite a challenge, and especially in her case, where she left a corporate job and started a new business, but I can definitely, I would say, praise her now for the success of her business. This is Mareldia Jones, and
Hi,
she
everyone.
is one of the owners of
Lokkima Suid-Afrika.
yes, where they do fat freezing. I think you'll be the best to explain what it is. But for all those people that feel like they need to get their summer body or lose a little, we all feel like that. Like I'm sitting there pulling my stomach in for the cameras. But this is the person you must speak to, Mareldia Jones. So tell us, who is Mareldia?
Okay, so I was born and bred in Cape Town.
Mm-hmm.
Started studying accounting at the age of 19. Finished my diploma, then started working in corporate. At that time, my first job was at the Green Company in Pinelands.
Okay.
And then it kind of went from there to the other insurance companies. I specialized mainly in pension funds, and I stayed in the industry for about 16 years. My last position was a fund accounting manager.
16 years is a long time for a young lady like you. But that's quite an interesting thing. So you went from the insurance space and the finance space and the pension fund space into
What
fat
I'm doing
freezing.
now, yes.
That's interesting. Tell us about fat freezing. What is it?
So fat freezing is exactly that. It's the freezing of fat cells. What happened in 2008 was they did some research. They found in one of the states in America that all the kids had dimples, and they couldn't understand that. And they did further research and found that low temperatures actually eats away the fat cells, and that's why the kids had dimples.
Because they were sucking on ice lollies all the
Yes,
time, and it's okay.
upsides.
I want to start
To eat them
get some more
all.
ice lollies. Yeah.
So then they took that kind of concept and created a massive machine. So fat freezing alone has been in existence for about 11, 12 years.
Okay.
We then looked at, well, not me, my predecessors, they looked at the concept. And what they then did was that particular machine goes anywhere between 1.5 to 2 million rand.
Sure.
And what our company did was they imported the best of the best. So, for example, they'll get the screen from Korea, they'll get the arms from Germany and stuff like that. They then assembled, and the Lokkima was born.
Okay. So this is now a specialized machine from all the best things
Yes.
that freezes your fat.
Yes.
And then what happens to your fat? Does it
So-
just go away?
The fat cells freeze at -2 degrees, but we can push it for lower. It takes about 30 to 40 days for the fat cells to leave your system. Your body
And this is to
actually-
make you slimmer. So
Yes,
you literally
yes.
get rid of the fat.
Yes. So it freezes up to 25% of the fat cells in the area that you kind of target, and it takes 30 to 40 days, and it moves via lymphatic system.
Okay.
So
So use your body's natural process to
yes,
actually get rid
yes,
of the fat.
exactly that.
Smart move there. Okay. So you got into this business after being in
Corporate.
the insurance and the
Yes.
corporate space. So with that whole thing now, your business has been operating for how long?
Alan started the business about 10 years ago. He
Okay.
started at the Western. At that time, I remember meeting him in 2016, and he told me about it, and I thought this man was crazy. I really thought he was crazy because I'd never heard about it. And the funny thing is that same weekend, they had the show Keeping Up with the Kardashians,
Okay.
and they featured fat freeze. So looked at it, and I'm like, yeah, okay. As you know, I was heavily overweight at that time. I remember he made a joke the one day, and he said, there's a guy that wants to sell a machine if I'm interested. And I looked at him, and I'm like, yeah, but I joked about it. And he asked me again afterwards, and I said, are you mad? I'm sitting with balance sheets and stuff. So And the funny thing is, in September of that same year, he phoned me out of Hong Kong and he said, I dare you to join my company.
Okay.
And I think 3 days later, I wrote up my resignation.
Sure, quite an interesting way. Looks like I mustn't dare you to do anything, anything dangerous. But that's so cool of getting into the entire course. But I think what happened there is a case of not knowing about it and learning about it. The Kardashians really
Yes.
took the cake there. But I know you also do a lot of celebrities.
I
Yes.
do. We look. Our concept is whoever walks through our doors, it's their journey, so we don't publicize it. But when they do, it's a nice
But
thing.
anyone can also come to Europe.
Yes.
Where are you guys based?
We've got 2 branches at the moment. We've got Observatory, and then we have the one at the Foundry as well.
Okay, at the Foundry in Greenpoint.
Greenpoint, we believe
So
it used to be.
if you're not in Cape Town, you must come through. But if people want to, maybe outside of Cape Town, they can make bookings.
I've got clients. I mean, I got a call about 2 hours ago from a lady that came down in March from Joburg. She's ecstatic about the results. So she wants to fly back again. So
Nice.
I get all over the country, outside of the country. Prior to COVID, I used to get clients from Germany. I used to get clients from America. I used to get clients from Amsterdam. Because obviously, if they do the conversion, it's cheaper to do it here than there.
I think that does make sense. I know people come over and then they sit in here with all them dollars and them
Yes,
pounds and they can
yes.
spend them because I think also with your procedure, it's non-invasive, basically like liposuction, but
Yes.
non-invasive liposuction, and it's cheaper than liposuction,
Yes.
and your healing time is less.
Yes.
So if you do want to get rid of the fat, you just come to you, and you
They
see
can leave on the same day. They can go gymming in most cases. So there is literally no downtime.
I think everyone should be doing that instead. I don't want to go gym anymore. I'll just come to you.
Well, we've got a muscle stimulation machine now as well.
Okay, so there's more to this.
Yes.
Okay.
So we've got a non-invasive facelift, which you can actually, if you've got small fat particles, we can target those fat particles with that machine as well. We've got cellulite treatments for all the females. We're able to get rid of men's boobs. So what happens?
Sign me up.
So what happens is obviously your hormones and stuff play a huge part in that, and we've done that a few times. We do something called the fine ice, where we combine skin tightening with the fat release as well, which actually gives you the greatest results. And then about 3 months ago, we got hold of an EM scalp machine.
Nice.
And what that does is it's equivalent to 20,000 sit-ups in half an hour.
This is super interesting. I think there's an amazing advance in technology, and I like how you capitalize on this. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk more about the challenges you faced as an entrepreneur. And I think there's a lot of that. If you want to get in touch with Mareldia to make a booking, jump on social medias. We've got the links here at the bottom. I'll see you after this. Welcome back to Being in the Business. I am Jamie Thurston, my God. We are chatting to Mareldia Jones, who is helping everybody get that summer body or winter body or whichever body you want. But it's all about fat freezing. Yes, and I think that's quite a new way to go. It's non-invasive. You can go gym immediately afterwards. You can just get up and go. Unlike liposuction, which I think takes time. I've never done it before. But I maybe need it. But that's cool. I think love your curves and love your body. But the main thing I want to talk to you about, Mareldia, is how you jumped from 16 years of corporate work, working in accounting, working in pension funds, and deciding just like that it's now time for you to just make a new business in a completely new direction. Did you know anything about fat freezing before?
None.
But what was the reason that made you do the switch? What happened to you?
Look, at that time, I was already working 4 years at the last company. I was working in excess of 20 hours a day, myself and my team. We were heavily understaffed, and I knew I needed to leave the company because I became or someone that I didn't like anymore. And even though I had offers from other countries to come and work there in accounting again, I think my family, my sister mainly, kept me here.
Okay.
So yes, I had offers in Joburg and I had offers in Luxembourg and London, but I think I wanted to stay home. And I also thought that based on it being my own company, I would be able to finish my accounting qualification. It didn't work.
That was your idea of start your own company
Yes.
and you get to do whatever you want.
Yes.
I think a lot of people think, oh, start my own company, be my own boss,
Yes.
have my own time.
Yes.
So what happened? Was that
It
the case
does
for you?
not work like that. So initially, when I started with Alan, we used to advertise a lot on Groupon, who later became Happily.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same month that I joined, Happily went, Groupon went
So your
bust.
biggest marketing
Yes.
channel
Went
closed
bust.
down.
Yes,
Yeah.
they decided to pull out of South Africa. And we needed to look at other kind of ways and means of doing advertising.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, we weren't on Instagram, we weren't on Facebook either.
Mm.
And had a few chats with some people, and yeah, it went haywire after that. I mean, we're sitting on when I started with you. You obviously introduced us to TV and stuff, and I'll forever be grateful to that.
Thank you.
But we needed to find ways and means to advertise, but not where it's continuously in your face either. We tried the newspapers didn't really work. Even though now we do feature in the newspapers on odd occasion. I mean, I love them, Nontanda and the team, and we featured in Glamour magazine.
Oh, nice.
We're featuring next month again. We just featured in Fair Lady as well.
Okay.
So we kind of capitalize on everyone. So your older generation would grab a magazine and go through that, where your 34 and under goes
On
to social media.
So I think it was a big case of also marketing to proper channels,
Yes.
I guess. Since you lost one,
Yes.
you had to find other ways to
Yes.
do the marketing.
Yes.
I want to go back to you when you started the business.
Yes.
And the transition between working from corporate, where you have a consistent salary, you
Medical
have your
aid.
pension funds, your
Yes.
medical aids, to go into an
Yes.
entrepreneur. Was this your first business?
Yes, it was.
So your very first business.
Yes.
And were you prepared for technically losing all those company benefits? And
Look,
how was that?
I loved accounting, don't get me wrong. But I knew that I was losing myself in the process. I got to the stage where I needed to ask leave to go to a funeral on a Saturday, which was unheard of ever before. The transition wasn't easy. I mean, for the first month or 2 months, mainly family and friends came for treatments and stuff like that, and that helped. But then come month 4, and there's no one. And what had happened was, I remember, I mean, I've got savings on the side, but the money that I was going to use for the business particularly, I remember sitting with $100 in my wallet, just in case a client phones and I need to get to the venue. Because at that stage, also I had an accident. And yes, the insurance paid out, but I couldn't, because entrepreneurs and companies, I can't just go to the bank and ask for a loan.
Yeah.
Which is very difficult. I actually had a discussion with a banker the other day to say, you guys make it so difficult to ask for credit. And by the time you do ask for credit, it's too late. So that was a very difficult kind of thing. Yes, for about 2 months. After that, I contemplated whether I must go back into corporate and get the salary again. But at least I decided not to. And it's worked out. Okay.
So you pushed on.
Yes.
It is a difficult time, and I think it's amazing for someone that hasn't been in that space before, because you learn all these new things. You learn about, you mentioned credit.
Yes.
An entrepreneur can't just go to
No.
even for a simple thing like a cell phone contract, because your income is inconsistent. They see you as high threat, and then they don't want to give you contracts or give you loans. And it might even be a case where your business is thriving, but because your income comes in at different times of the month, it doesn't show on their records that you're someone that gets an income every month.
Yes.
And your income might even be more as an
Yes.
entrepreneur
Yes.
than what you would have been earning as a corporate.
Yes.
But the system doesn't
There are
favor.
flaws.
Yes,
there
there's flaws in the
are,
system
there
that doesn't
are
favor
major
entrepreneurs.
flaws. And I think people should realize that even if your business does not thrive within the 6 months, please hold on, try and have it for at least a year before you make that decision. Because I believe that ultimately big corporates are going to close down. I mean, we're seeing it now after COVID.
Yeah.
So you need to find something that you love, and that actually makes you happy when you go in.
No, definitely. I think that's the big thing about being an entrepreneur as well, is enjoying what you do. And that's the even though we get all the struggles that come with it, we're not talking about all the struggles that come with it. It's the case of, do you enjoy what you're doing? And that's the satisfaction that comes with it. Sometimes you don't always get paid on time, you get paid late, your clients do weird things, or you will go into weird deals. But the main thing is that there's no monetary value to how much you can enjoy what you're doing. Whereas what I'm gathering from you, yes, you said you love accounting, but you are overworking yourself.
Yes.
And that, like you mentioned, you are losing yourself in that space. And for someone to lose themselves, I think for anyone to lose themselves, that's more detrimental to you, to your mental health, to your physical health, to spending time with your friends and family. I think that's a big situation. I actually want to touch on that. If you have stories like this as well, jump onto social media and tell us how you had to deal with losing yourself in your corporate job, because I'm sure everyone might get frustrated and want to jump ship and start their own business.
I had in 2016 I had a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, that's hectic. We need to go on a break right now, thanks. I'll see you after the break. When we come back, we'll find out more about how Mareldia solved all these issues for herself. Thank you. Welcome back to Be in the Business. We are having an intense conversation about nervous breakdowns and leaving your job and starting the business. But the ultimate thing is how you can end up with success and pushing through and, knowing when you need to gauge between the stresses you have in your day job, but then also understanding the value that your mental health brings by being an entrepreneur. So Mareldia, you told us that story, and the last thing you told us how you are going to go into mental breakdown. You want to just elaborate on what happened there?
So what happened was I had an accident in July of 2016 where my car rolled, and I survived that. I didn't get the scratch or anything. That's why I always drive Audis. I was driving an Audi at that time.
Audi must give us money if we explained Audi.
So I returned to work and it was normal, as in nobody picked up anything, and the deadlines were piling up and stuff like that. And my doctor actually called me in and she's like, listen, the reason why you can't move out of bed is because your body can't handle it anymore. And she placed me on a mild antidepressant and stuff like that. But
so your actual day job was literally making you depressed.
Sick, yes.
And making you sick.
Yes.
That the doctor had to get
Yes.
involved.
Yes.
How did you fix this? Like,
that's where I realized that I needed to make some changes in my life because I wasn't getting the necessary support from corporate as well. I also realized at that time that you just became a number at the company. And what I did was I did a NLP course with Simon, and he helped me kind of redefine my goals and stuff like that, which was amazing.
What is the NLP course?
So it's called Neuro-Linguistic Practice, if I get it right. And what they do is they kind of work mostly with your subconscious. Even though there's certain things that they do offer at corporate. For example, goal settings. Goal setting must have a timeline, it must be defined, and you must be able to say, okay, I'm going to do it by this time. So he helped me a lot with that. And because of doing that particular course, it was easier to transition into.
So that the skills of knowing your goals, knowing the timelines, that helped you into managing your own business. And I think that's important. Those people need to take the know your goals and know how to manage your time. Yeah. Moving on from that, when you started running your business now, and you mentioned how things had to change, one thing was jumping onto social, jumping onto newspapers, and understanding the different marketing methods. How did marketing work out for you to get new clients? What did you do differently from your first few months to when you said to not get to having a little dry spot and then jumping up and now you flourishing with clients? What happened there in understanding that space?
The funny thing is I've always, yes, we're a business and our core is to make money. Don't get us wrong. But I feel that if you place heart into the business, people see that. And at the moment, we get 70% of our clients via referrals. So
Okay.
we needed to work on client satisfaction and stuff like that, which is very important. I had the privilege, I mean, you arranged the session at Espresso, I remember. That helped tremendously as well. So looking at different aspects and see, they call it the 7 P's. So your price, your the people that you're trying to attract. So it was kind of working with marketing. But remember, I come out of an accounting environment.
Yeah.
So marketing was foreign to me. I had a chat with my sister. My sister's a marketing or a marketer for one of the big companies as well. And a lot of reading.
I think the big thing you mentioned there with your P's is your people.
Yes.
And you've shown how your customer service drives more sales
Yes.
based on referrals. A lot of people are getting customer service wrong and wonder why they're not getting more clients. So do make sure when running a business, you need to understand what your customers' needs are and also how to deal with different
Yes.
kinds of people.
Yes.
Because I'm sure in your situations,
It's
besides getting different body shapes,
Yes.
you're getting different kinds of personalities that are coming in.
Yes.
And you're managing to deal with it nicely. Because I'm thinking, an accountant, people usually think accountants must don't.
No.
You're a shy girl
Yes.
over here. You're not always dealing with people. Yet the business you're doing now, you have to understand and go research the parts of understanding the people you're working with. And that's very important of knowing your market
And your brand.
and your brand specifically. Making sure your brand aligns with the people you're trying to attract.
Yes.
If the brand alignment is out, you're not going to get the people
No.
that you want to get as customers.
Yes.
And that's even the case of which platforms you're marketing to. Like you mentioned, you market on newspaper to get or magazines to get the older people, and you're doing a lot of things on social media to get the
Under the
younger,
Yes.
the younger people, the older people on
Yes.
on social media
Yes.
as well. But that's how you segmented your marketing to be able to target specific groups. And the more specific you make it, the higher the chance that you're going to be able to retain these customers. Yes. What I want to ask, Mareldia, if you had a time machine or could phone now old Mareldia that was still working in corporate, that working on weekends and working overtime, if you could give a word of advice to that Mareldia right now, what advice would you give?
Honestly, don't give corporate so much of yourself. Because yes, the money flows irrespective of what you do. If you love it, money flows more. Be kinder to yourself, I think. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so what I used to do is I would give my staff work and then time myself on how quickly I can do it.
Sure.
So that I would say to her, it's fine. You don't need to please everyone. Do your job and do it well, and people will remember you based on that.
No, lovely, lovely stuff. If you need some fat freezing to get done, if you feel like you need to lose those weights or define those curves or skin tightening or man boobs, I'm gonna come for that. Then give Mareldia a pop-up message. How do people get hold of you, Marel?
Well, on Instagram, we are Lokkima Cape Town Fat Freeze. On Facebook, we Lokkima Cape Town. My contact number you've got, you can.
We'll
feel free
definitely
to
share
get
that
as well.
with everyone as well.
Yes, and we were in the latest Feel Lady, so all
Yeah.
our details are listed there.
So
as
you
well.
can buy magazines or buy
Yes.
newspapers or see Mareldia on there. We also have some cool competitions because we are at the Vibe Hotel. Do you like the place?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so jump on our social media. We're going to be posting not just for this hotel, but there's going to be a few other competitions as well because I know people like them freebies. Yes, but this place is lovely. They are in Greenpoint. It's one of the new hotels that popped up. And I think people should come definitely check us out. Maybe even can get some fat freezing and come chill at the hotel.
Rooftop is
Yep.
also nice.
Do engage with us on social, not just for the competition stuff, but if you also have stories to share with us about your business journeys, then don't be shy because we also want people to be able to share information, and that's how we all learn. No matter whether your story is about work from corporate, whether your story is about a credit case, or whether your story about getting your body into shape. This is being the business, and we're here to learn and learn to get better at business. So thank you, Mareldia. It's been good being with you, and that is being the business.